Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Welcome to the good life.
And after all the talk,
Good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and you all already know that we are about to hop up in it. We have a great show for you today. I am so excited, but first of all, I'd like to welcome all of our listeners from New Orleans, the greater New Orleans area, from Dallas, Fort Worth, and all around the world, because you know WBOK makes it okay. And we are all over the world. You can listen to us on Spreaker or SoundCloud at any time during your drive, your workout session, or when you want to just, get your mind right. So make sure you do that on Spreaker or SoundCloud. And if you'd like to join The Good Life, make sure that you call us at 504-400-7127. That's 504-400-7127. Now, we are going to hop up in it because I am so excited today. We have a special guest in the studio, and she is going to break it down. Are you sleeping next to Crazy? I don't know, but sometimes I sit next to Crazy in this studio sometimes. But she is Teej Mercer. She is the best-selling author and speaker, a 20-year North Hollywood, California-based retired award-winning TV editor whose career spans many genres with hits such as Extra, The Bachelor, The Tonight Show starring Jay Leno, Swamp People, Bar Rescue. Her resume goes on and on and on. So we are so excited to have her here. I am really excited. This is The Good Life, and we like to open people's mind to living differently in the world. And this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yes.
So I was so excited when your team reached out and they were like, she's going to be in town. I was like, oh, my goodness, I would love to have her on the show.
Yeah.
So I know you were on yesterday, but I was like, no, I have to steal her. She has to be on with me, too.
Well, thanks for stealing me.
I am so excited to have you here. And, it's two different listening audiences. That was the evening,
Absolutely.
But we're more fun in the morning. We're much more fun. I hope you think so.
It's a different energy.
It's a different energy.
It's
Okay,
a different energy.
Well, why don't you give us a little bit? I mean, I kind of spoke of, your grandeur, but give us a little bit of your background and how you kind of, began to walk this road, because it's a little bit of a personal journey for you, isn't it?
It's absolutely. I became a quote-unquote expert because I walked through the fire.
Right.
And I was living in Los Angeles. I was at the top of my game of my career and had some of the biggest shows on my resume. But no one knew that I was having this dark secret. Mm-hmm. That, while I was doing my thing in Hollywood, I was being held down in my own home because I almost lost my life several times at the hands of my then husband. And it was one of those things that, as I began to peel back the layers, I realized that, it starts out as insidious. It's the insidious killer, verbal abuse. Verbal abuse almost always precedes the violent. Mm-hmm. And so my mission, Eileen, is, there's a woman is 70 times more likely to be killed once she leaves.
70?
70.
Like 70?
70.
Okay.
70 times more likely to be killed a few weeks after she leaves her abuser. So it is my mission with the book, The Six-Figure Battered Wife, My Path to Resilience, to wake up women before it escalates to that level. Because women, I can speak for myself and the dozens of women I've talked to who are high earners, they're determined, they're focused. I call it we educated and successified our way into denial.
Right.
That this could not be happening to, I went to Howard University, so this could not be happening to a Howard University.
Really? My sister is a HU grad, too.
Yes, HU.
License.
So, this could not be happening to me, and you're walking around on eggshells in your own home and don't even realize why. And you're thinking, I'm smart, I've achieved all, you've got doctors, attorneys, career women who are walking around trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong that's setting him off?
Right.
What am I doing wrong that's making him go from 0 to 60 and all I said was good morning?
Right.
And you're living in this and not realizing it because it's so subtle and it's systemic. And with this mission of, I'm starting a movement called I Don't Fix Crazy.
Oh, I like that.
Because I want women to wake up and realize it's not them.
Mm-hmm.
They are just sleeping next to crazy. They're not crazy. And the onus is on the abuser. but I need to get women safe. I need women to wake up quicker, sooner, faster, so that we can bring that statistic down, that they are out of this relationship before it escalates to the violence.
Why do you think that so often we like to give them the pass when it's the beginning stages of, oh, they just said this, or, oh, they hurt my feelings, but they didn't really mean it? Because we like to think that we say stuff in the heat of the moment, but there are certain things you just don't say. But we tend to give people passes. Why do we keep giving them passes when they're showing signs of crazy?
Right. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a pass.
Okay.
You don't necessarily understand it. It starts out, I'm looking to explain how Janae Rice went ahead and married Ray, the NFL player, after he had punched her in the elevator.
Right.
Is because they'd been together for years, and it started out with constructive criticism. That then, and in the book, I walk you through these escalations because I had to figure this out myself. But it started out as constructive criticism. Then that constructive criticism gets a little meaner. And then it escalates into, okay, it's full blown, I'm going to curse you out. But it has happened so much over time that it's not condensed down into this short amount of time. So it's more subtle. And you're thinking, oh, he had a bad day. Oh, well, we all have had bad days. And so you're rationalizing it, not necessarily understanding this is what's happening. So by the time it gets to threat level 5, it has been subtle and building. And so you're holding on to the man that you married. You're holding on, hoping he will come back.
You hit a nerve there, because I can only say this as a woman. I don't know the other guys, because I'm sure it's a double-edged sword. Men go through the same thing, but we're talking from a woman's point of view,
perspective.
Right? We always want to think that person's going to come back.
Yeah.
But that person...
And that is the hardest part, when you have to... In the book, I spell out the word resilience, and each letter is a different step. And the L means you have to lose the facade. You have to wake up and realize this is your reality now.
Right.
This is not the man you married. For whatever reason, he has switched. And Patricia Evans, who's the author of The Verbal Abusive Man, Can He Change? And I would argue that she's probably one of the foremost people who actually deal with verbal abuse. She calls it the switch. And every woman I have talked to can pinpoint the exact moment when the abuser changed. And it's usually tied to an event where he knows he has you. He knows that you're not going anywhere, whether or not it's the wedding, because some people have had it happen on the wedding. In my case, it was the day after the wedding when I started realizing, you've just turned really mean.
Right.
What is happening? And you're still holding on and thinking, okay, if I come at it this way, if I work harder, maybe I can draw the man that I married, or the man who I've been with these 3, 4, 5 years, I can draw him back out. And the reality is you can't unless he's willing to actually wake up to what he's doing.
All right, TJ, I'm about to have a moment on the air, and no one's going to be expecting this, because the whole point of The Good Life is opening your mind to living differently in the world.
Yeah.
The whole point of your book is to speak your truth, right?
Yeah.
And to touch women. So I'm going to let you know that you touched me this morning, because my first relationship was not a great relationship. He was very emotionally abusive, and it lasted, just like you said, a span of years. And I had that moment. I was about 19 years old. And I remember I wanted to leave, and he didn't want me to.
Yeah.
And where he lived was on top of a house, and everybody knows New Orleans, so it was like a landing at the bottom.
Okay.
And he did not want me to leave. And I was like, I'm leaving. And so he turned at me and punched a hole through the wall next to my head. And I was just like, I had that moment of like, all right, okay, cool. What you want to do? All right. So he started walking up the landing. He was about 3/4 up that landing. I was like, you have lost your mind. And I ran to the car. I got in the car, and of course he ran after me. And I was just like,
Can I articulate what happened there?
Yes, please.
What happened is you, the real woman, showed up. He had created this dream woman that would never leave him. And for you to have the audacity to say, I'm out, that just shattered his world, and he didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
So he lashed out violently. And that is the escalation, because you started out by saying he had been emotionally abusive.
Yes.
And then the escalation happened. So that's why it's important to me to actually get women to wake up, that the verbal abuse is going to continue to be an escalation until it goes into, hopefully, not hopefully, but until it ends up perhaps being fatal.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm glad you shared that, because then women will see it is an escalation.
Right.
Get out before it escalates.
And you're not alone.
You're not, and that
You
is,
are not alone.
and that is
I'm
the
sitting
case.
here, look, testifying on air. So many people have heard at this point. It is
So
what
many
it is, right?
women think that because it happened to me,
Right.
you know, and which is why no one in my family knew. No one in my family
Mine
knew.
either. I didn't tell anybody. My
Yep.
parents were like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I
Yep.
was like, "Ugh."
It's the embarrassment.
Yeah.
It's the, I can't believe I allowed myself to be treated like this for so long.
Exactly.
I can't even articulate what I'm really experiencing, so let alone try to explain it. And so, and that's sometimes one of the characteristics of an abuser. They isolate you.
Right.
That you thinking that you are alone, not
Kind of
knowing.
felt like I was wearing that scarlet A.
Yes, that's exactly how to describe it. So thank you for sharing that, because
Thank
that
you
is,
for drawing it out.
and that's the conversation I want to have.
Right.
So that women will see themselves in my story. And if you go to www.idon'tfixcrazy.com, you can get a free chapter of the book and walk through the 5 signs you're sleeping next to crazy.
Say that one more time. Give us that website.
www.idon'tfixcrazy.com. There's a free chapter where because I put the chapter there is because I want women to start seeing, oh gosh, that happened to me.
Right.
Oh gosh, that sounds familiar. I didn't know. Because I can tell you, I've spoken to so many women that once they heard me speaking, they have this aha.
Right.
You know, I met a woman on a cruise. She had been carrying guilt for 20 years, not knowing she had been verbally and emotionally abused. She didn't have a word for it.
And that's what the good life is all about. If we can open one person's mind, touch one person for the month of October Awareness Month, domestic violence, then we've done our job. Yeah. And so I want everybody to know, if you follow us on social media, The Good Life Radio Show, TGL Radio Show, that we will be posting her link. And so, take a moment or send it to a friend, share, let them know that they're not alone. You may not, necessarily know what they're going through, but, just sliding this information in them can make a difference. Ty, go ahead.
Oh, well, TJ, I just want to first thank you for being here with us this morning, because I know it was definitely a process to get to where you are today. The question I have for you, if you could talk a little bit more about, quite often, individuals who may experience being in an abusive relationship have a tendency to want to, coming out of it, in contributing back, support other women and or men who also have experienced that as they're going through it and or coming out of the relationship. But what I noticed, what was unique about you and your book, it focuses a great deal on prevention.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about, when you made a decision, to write this book and become an author and put your heart and soul and open up so much about yourself, why your focus was on the prevention side?
Well, I wish I could be real deep with you, but the truth of the matter is God told me to write the book because I was doing an interview for the Huffington Post on my way here, and I was explaining to her that it's important to me to talk about the prevention because of that statistic. 70 times, really, really grasp that. 70 times more likely to be killed once they leave.
And I'm going to speak to that because he stalked me after. And It's only because I lived in a gated apartment complex that kind of saved me. Mm-hmm. Because he stalked me. I'd get stuff on my car. He was a stalker. They do it. Go ahead.
But if you think about it, Ty, if a person hits you, punches you, slaps you, that's violence, right? That's what, I don't want to say everybody, but there are a lot of resources out there that address that. But I wanted to get to the core. How do we prevent it from getting to that level when they're slapping, punching your psyche, your self-esteem? That's what's important to me, because it's like with cancer, early detection is the prevention.
Saves your life, right.
Early detection. So if someone like me with a big mouth like me can actually get you to wake up and say, no, honey, this is happening to you. It's not in your head. You are walking around on eggshells. You're never going to be able to figure out what the rules are because he's going to constantly change the rules. Just maybe I can actually bring that statistic down.
And that's what it's all about. That's exactly what The Good Life is all about. I want to thank Teej Mercer for being here. Oh, my gosh, she's touched my heart and she touched my soul. How can people follow you? How can they get involved in your movement? How can they feel like they're not alone?
They can go to www.idon'tfixcrazy.com. My social media is kind of, because I wasn't intending on being a domestic violence expert. So
Right.
my social media, it may throw the listeners for a minute, but my social media is at realitytvcoach.com. I mean, at realitytvcoach, because I actually teach people how to produce and create their own reality shows. So I wasn't planning on this level of my life, so it kind of maybe seems a little incongruent, but
Well, look where you ended up on reality radio. See, go figure.
It's been a blast, and thank you.
Oh
Thank
my
you
gosh,
for allowing
thank you so
me
much for having. Like,
to-
thank you for coming here.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what we need to hear. We need to understand that we're not alone. Look, you've touched me, and I opened up to the audience, and
Yeah.
hopefully we've touched someone else who out there who will, will spread the message. October is domestic awareness. I can't even get it out. I've been touched
domestic
this morning.
violence. I'll help you.
Thank
Domestic
you.
violence awareness. I'm here for you, girl.
Thank you. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Please, y'all. How many women? 70 times more likely.
There's 1 in 3 women who will be killed.
1 in 3 women.
But a woman is 70 times more likely to be killed once she leaves her abuser.
Do you hear those stats? That is not the good life. We can change it with early detection and early prevention. So let's do that. This is Eileen. Thank you, Teej Mercer, for being
My
here. And I will have all of your
pleasure.
information on all of my social media sites. So make sure you follow us for that. And when we get back, we have OT in the studio, and we're about to break it down. Dating, his love life. Does he have one? Does he not? We'll figure all that out. We're going to help him out when we get right back. Love you, OT. This is a good life. We'll be right back. This is Relationship Tuesday. Stay tuned.
Kingdom Connection Productions presents Saturday Night Praise, Life After the Storm, honoring over 45 years of service with the Macedonia Church of God in Christ Music Ministry. Saturday, October 24th, 2015, featuring Dove and Stellar Award nominee Ernest Pugh and Michelle Prather, member of Kurt Carr Singers, and much more. Macedonia is located at 3015 Louisa Street in New Orleans. Doors open at 6:45 p.m. Show starts at 7:30. Reserved seating is available. For more information, visit www.snpnola.eventbrite.com or call 512-853-0155. Saturday Night Praise, Life After the Storm.
October 24th is fast approaching, and it's time for action, not just talk. Have you made plans to take action? Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? This is Karen Carter Peterson, chair of the Louisiana Democratic Party. Election day is Saturday, October 24th. Your vote is your voice. As a community, we've been talking about changing Louisiana's leadership in Baton Rouge. We've been talking about our frustration because the governor doesn't prioritize health care and education and reducing poverty in the state. Well, don't talk about it. Be about it. Vote Saturday, October 24th for Democrats that represent your values. John Bell Edwards for governor, Chris Tyson for Secretary of State, and Jerry Broussard Baloney for Attorney General. Please don't sit on the sidelines. You can make things better by voting your values on Saturday, October 24th. Or you can make things worse by doing absolutely nothing. It's up to you. Your vote counts, and Louisiana needs you. Vote Democrat.
Paid for by the DSCC of Louisiana.
Hello? I need help. My hair is a mess and my man texts me telling me to be ready for 8. He has a surprise. What am I going to do? My stylist takes forever.
I got you. Call Ringlet Salon. I just left there.
Where?
Ringlet Salon. They took me within minutes and had me in and out in no time. Very professional, and I scheduled online at ringlets.com.
For real?
Girl, for real.
Does Ringlet Salon hook up your roots?
Looks like I got a perm, and you know I'm anti-chemicals. Ringlet Salon has my hair soft and bouncy. I'm getting a Brazilian Blowout Express next week. It eliminates frizz for 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay, I'm all about Ringlet Salon. Where are they located?
Ringlets has 2 locations, one at 4712 Paris Avenue and one in the Hilton Hotel on the river. That location validates parking for 4 hours and is open on Sunday.
Perfect for a working woman like me. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to be fresh from my man.
You will if you schedule your appointment at ringlets.com. That's RINGLETTS.com.
Bye. Go and make my appointment with Ringlet Salon now.
New Orleans East is my home, my neighborhood, and my community. This is Paul Boyer. It is important to me that New Orleans East continues to rebound from Katrina, continues to grow and prosper. That is why I'm voting for Alicia Plummer-Clivens for State Representative, District 100. When New Orleans East was at its lowest point after Katrina, I saw Alicia work tirelessly to bring our neighborhoods back. I saw Alicia take on the government forces that were trying to turn our neighborhoods into green space. I am convinced that Alicia Plummer-Clivens has the leadership qualities to represent the citizens of New Orleans East as our state representative. This is Paul Boyer. It is important that we elect someone with a track record of serving and working for our community. On October 24th, let's elect Alicia Plummer-Clivens to represent our interests in Baton Rouge. Alicia Plummer-Clivens, State Representative, District 100, number 64 on your ballot.
Paid for by Alicia Plummer-Clivens Campaign.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com. or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694. With a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
You're on the move and so is your bank. Liberty Bank now offers you the power to manage your money from the palm of your hand with mobile banking with Liberty Bank. Whether you need to check balances, transfer money, or view transactions, mobile banking at Liberty Bank allows convenient and secure access to your money. Enroll today at www.libertybank.net and download our mobile app. You can mobile bank at Liberty Bank to keep the power in your hands. Liberty Bank. There's freedom here. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Listen to WBOK 1230 AM anywhere in the world. Live at www.wbok1230am.com. WBOK 1230 AM, talk radio in New Orleans.
Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is officially over. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday. I am in the studio with Uche Ty, the OT from the morning show, and we're about to get all up into his business. And I have Teej Mercer, who is a best-selling author. She is here discussing Domestic Violence Awareness Month for the month of October. She has flown all the way from LA, so I'm so excited to have her here. And she's going to join us for our next segment where we break down some conversations with OT. And this is kind of rolled into a little bit from the first segment. So OT, I know you had a couple of questions from that, so you want to
No, not really questions. I mean, well, first of all, it's an honor to have TJ
Likewise.
Mercer, if you know the success of her life in terms of, I could say, Hollywood mogul, someone who shapes thoughts, that shape position, they prepare people to deal with their success in that whole Hollywood stream. I think she's even more successful in how she impacts women.
Oh, thank
you.
And
opening up the side of her personal life. So as big as she is on the in front of the camera side, helping people, behind the scenes, your work has been tremendous in helping women.
Thank you.
I wanted to deal with something that Ty said where you talked about prevention. I always think that there are signs there that something always happens that we tend to want to ignore, that you have to begin to focus when you're in a relationship or when you meet someone's representative. Mm-hmm. Then the second thing is that relationships now are, to me, just as mythical as the so-called American dream. Mm-hmm. And that because we come from a male-dominated position about what a relationship ought to be like, look like, and be built like, then there's a false narrative there where women, the expectations of women versus the expectations and demands of men don't always meet with the reality of that dream. So I think we have to begin to tear those houses down right now so that we can construct and build more constructive relationships. And I think, TJ, you're absolutely correct. If we don't begin to deal with the realities, the myths will continue to stand.
We have to have the conversation. We have to be willing to have the authentic conversation. And I want to be clear that this is by no means, when I gave out the website, I Don't Fix Crazy, this by no means is a male bashing. I'm not a male, so I cannot speak from the perspective of a man. I can only speak from the perspective of a woman. And when men like yourself are willing to have the conversation with me so then that you can impact the men, I can impact the women, I think greatness is going to be birthed. So I'm in awe that we get to sit around a round table. We're sitting literally around a round table, and we get to have this conversation so that those walls can come down.
Oliver. Mm-hmm. I know we were getting in your business this morning because we're talking about dating. So this is really perfect that TJ that you get to be here for all of this.
Well, dating is difficult. Let me start there. And I listen to your show, and first of all, I want to appreciate Ty and Uche. And I listen to people's comments. Uche gets a lot of pushback from people because he has strong opinions about what he says, but he's actually courageous enough to talk about what men go through, and I think that has to be part of an honest conversation. We can't continue to talk about a victim when it's victim versus victim, especially when it's African American male in a society that where we're not free yet. So, I facilitate some real powerful discussions with women, and many cases I challenge them. I tell them I love women. Mm-hmm. So
okay.
I love women.
Okay.
So I mean, I was married for a long time. I'm sorry, I get that confused.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You see what we do here on The Good Life.
And it's a beautiful thing. But as women raise their game, if women told me I needed to be a rocket scientist tomorrow to get with women, I'm going to rocket science.
You going back to school?
I'm going to get a doctorate in rocket science.
I want a rocket science.
But if your
all y'all go back to school.
If your expectations are I got to sag and leg and drag, then Confucius says man like water rises to a level that is most comfortable or conscious. So while we're challenging men, and I want to thank you, Uche, for many cases for defending and taking some heat for that. I think it's important that we begin to have a victim-to-victim conversation about how we grow. So dating is extremely difficult. You meet everybody's representative. And dating for men, especially men.
I like that. I want to make sure they get that. You say that again.
It's a victim-to-victim conversation.
But you meet everybody.
You meet everybody's representative. And then there's that one moment. Either after or before a glass of wine, where that look
in New Orleans,
where that look comes that there's like, well, like my auntie would say, who is you? Mm-hmm. You know
who you is,
who you is, or where you come from. I think identifying that everybody gives you a sign, signs. So yeah, it's difficult being single today because you don't know what anybody's intentions are.
Mm-hmm. It is very difficult. It is very difficult to date. I'd say, especially in the city of New Orleans. I know, Uche, we haven't heard from you today.
To piggyback off that, it's like, I always say you never know who a person is until you know what a person wants. So you in the whole dating and courting and all that stuff, it's like it's a constant sitting there. It's like, what do you want? And you will never answer that question until you will never find out who they are until you know what they want. So
quite often, we've discussed this, here on the show. I really truly like using that word representative, and for you to
we had a whole show about it.
Yeah,
TJ.
exactly.
We went off,
we sure did, and it's key because Oliver really hit it on the money. And the recommendation that I gave, and I had to go through this to understand what I'm about to say. Okay. It was advice that was given to me that I heard and understood, but didn't fully understand. And that advice is, through the courting and through the dating stages and when you're in a relationship, it's very important that you allow life to take its course, because inevitably you'll have ups and downs, you'll have peaks and valleys. And I think you really don't get to know someone at their core until you no longer are interacting with their representative.
Absolutely.
And so in life, you have to understand what your mate or your partner is going to do and say during a death of a lost one, how they come out of, the loss of a loved one.
We all got to see how people
unemployment.
dealt with it during Katrina, because their representative can last a long time sometimes. But until you see how somebody deals with stress.
Extremely powerful. I want to stay on that because how do they deal with that moment? Unemployment. For black men, now, the employment issues, that's extremely powerful right now to get a grasp on that. How do you deal with those things?
Death of lost one. You may start dating a person that is very close to his mother. Right? And unfortunately, throughout the course of your dating, he loses a mom or he or she becomes unemployed. How they respond to the adversity in life says so much about an individual, their character and their core. And then it's also a reflection of how you, in the courting stage or as their partner, supports them through those life changes. And that's what peels those layers back of being a representative. And
I'll take you one step further than that. Even in the situation with me, how do they handle when you are the high earner? How do they handle when you're the one that the household is carried? You are carrying the household. And on the surface, they're like, okay, it's all good.
Not really, though.
But until it's like you realize, okay, this is it feels like an attack of my manhood. I may not have said anything about what I'm earning,
girl,
and it's really this is our money, but there's something innately in them or whatever. When the men can speak more to this.
If it's an attack on your manhood, take it as an attack. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it to put yourself in gear? So I feel attacked that my wife is more successful than me. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit on the sofa, watch TV, play video games, and sit there and sulk about it? Or are you going to be like, look, I need to get my behind in gear. I need to go out. I need to be more productive. And productive even meaning you don't have to make money. Go out and do something.
Volunteer.
How does your wife leave in the morning? Your wife leaves in the morning to go to work, and you sitting on the couch. You don't feel bad? Go do something.
And I think that's key. I think for me, it's not necessarily who makes more money.
Right.
Because inevitably you could pursue a career or acquire a degree that puts you in a higher earning bracket. It shouldn't. Sometimes you're comparing apples to oranges. But I truly believe that we had a caller come in that called in. I think it was last week or the week before, and he really said something that hit it on the money. And he referenced that once you become married, you are a team. And there's no I in team.
But this is part of that conversation that has to be deconstructed because, there are certain tenets and values that we're trained on in society where women play a certain role, men have to play a certain role, and now there's blurred lines now.
But I can.
So I think the expectations have to be rebuilt because there are a lot of good men out there.
Absolutely,
that good man has to be secure. And I'm not trying to be funny.
That's key.
I've been through this, and listeners out there know. My family is political so a lot of people think they know me, but don't know me, and think that they have an idea of. And Oliver, you go through the same thing. But a person to date me has to be secure, and it just is what it is. Because if we go out, if we go out, and I may know more people than they know.
What do you mean by secure? Because there's
secure in who they are.
Okay.
Not in what they have.
I'm not talking about money. I'm not necessarily. It's nice, but I'm not looking for
gravy.
It's gravy. But I'm not. I'm not.
But Eileen, it's value and purpose.
Yeah.
And the value and purpose is to say this. Look, my wife does make more money than me. But what am I doing? What is my purpose in the relationship?
How are you contributing to the world?
So she does X, Y, Z. There is still A, B, and C that needs to be done. That, you know what? I still do have a purpose.
Yeah.
And while my value may not equate to money, it is the purpose of what I do while my wife is doing what she's doing.
And I fully understand what you're saying. But like speaking to Albert's point of the representative, in their mind they feel like they're secure and they put up this. I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about dating.
Right.
And for us to date, and Albert and I have had this conversation, it's difficult to date because their representative, I want this person for maybe a status symbol or like they have achieved something or they have conquered something. I'm not something to conquer.
Well, the other person, it gets mad when, all right, you want me for...
But then you can't handle it.
You want me for status? I want you for something else. We good, right?
But then
it's fair, right? But that's the
all
is
is
the
fair
problem.
in love.
Look, you want me for something, I want you for something. But that's what we're not going to be.
Let's go to the lines real quick before we have to go to break. Carl, welcome to The Good Life. We are here on Relationship Tuesday. We have Teej Mercer. We have OT.
Hey.
We have a fabulous crew. We have Ty, Uche, and, of course, me, Eileen. Go ahead.
Oh, and I'm enjoying your conversation and the guests that you have. And dating is supposed to where we find, the person we enjoy being with. But what I find is that I got a book, How to Be Mature in a Relationship. So a lot of people are coming to a relationship with a lot of baggage and maturity. And I also tell men is that it is a team. If one person is making more money, accentuate the positive. Support her until you're able to get on your feet. But don't get so we play here to tear down the person. Mm-hmm. But if she makes more money, that's an asset. Mm-hmm. Work with her, like you're saying. Don't stay on the sofa. Don't sulk. Don't be depressed. See how you can do what you can do and what you're best at doing and help support her. I tell men all the time because they understand sport. It's a team effort. We want to work together as a team for that concept.
Well, I think the team, the team concept, I like to deal with the realities. African American communities from 1890 to now, from 84% male and female head of households in 1890 to 81% during the Great Depression, to 37% now. The white community broke the 25% barrier for functional or quote unquote the traditional families years ago. So when you talk about the team right now, teams are in decline. So that's why I talk about how we have to begin to deconstruct and then rebuild the whole myth around capitalism affects everything. Market forces affects everything, including relationships. And men are also targets. So how do you determine? One of the most prominent women in this community, who I won't mention her name, a good man to her is somebody who has some status, makes over six figures, and drives a nice car.
Loyalty, trust, honesty, compassion. What happened to that, TJ?
That goes back to what he's saying. You have to determine what you want.
And the brother she goes out with, he does well, but she's in his harem.
But she got what she wanted.
She got what she wanted.
And that's the thing. It's like you got what you wanted. What are you complaining about?
And that's a reality, and I'm with Uche. If that's what she wants and that's what stimulates her and fulfills her, let her have it. Let her find an individual that is as equally, I would say, superficial as she is, because their happiness will come together if they're.
Let's circle back.
Their happiness will come together.
Let's circle back to what.
But for me, I think it's when you have two individuals that are not equally yoked, and one values something more substantive out of a relationship than a materialistic things that may come along.
We have to go to break, but I'm gonna let TJ close this out. What's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is I'm thrilled that the conversation is happening. And I don't think, Uche?
Yes, ma'am.
I think he's very clear. You have to determine what you want, but then also determine what you're willing to tolerate when you're on your way to getting what you want. And by no means is it okay for someone to demean you for what you want. It is not okay for you to tolerate someone calling you out your name. It is not okay for you to tolerate someone browbeating you constantly, who is constantly focused on your mistakes, your flaws, your insecurities. You have to be with someone who ups your level of how you play the game. I am an award-winning TV editor. I make no apologies about that. I am a beast in what I do. I show up to play hard. So a man who is going to play with me has to show up and be willing to play just as hard. And I don't care if he's a school teacher. As long as he's playing hard for those kids, we are going to win a championship.
Hello, we are having church right here in The Good Life this morning. This is Relationship
I wish
Tuesday.
more women
that was
thought like
TJ
that.
Mercer, and follow her. I'm going to put all of her links on my social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The Good Life Radio Show, TGL Radio Show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
we were glad
having
that we
me
got
and
to
letting me
steal you
come.
for a little bit longer. And anytime you're in New Orleans, we may even have to do some radio stuff on a regular. We will see. We will see. This is The
Sounds
Good
like
Life.
a
This
plan.
Eileen. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com. or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
This is Karen Carter Peterson, chair of the Louisiana Democratic Party. The last 8 years of so-called Republican leadership has led Louisiana to the brink of ruin. Fiscal planning based on smoke and mirrors, deception, and outright lies that always end with even more cuts to higher education and health care. Republican resistance to increasing the minimum wage and showing absolutely no concern for Louisiana women who earn 67 cents for every dollar paid to men. This is Louisiana after 8 years of Republicans in charge. If you are ready for leadership that promotes Louisiana's needs first, then it's time to vote the entire Democratic ticket and reject the Republican pandering and rhetoric. Vote John Bell Edwards for governor, Kip Holden, lieutenant governor, Charlotte McGehee, commissioner of insurance, and Charlie Greer, commissioner of agriculture. The past 8 years is certainly enough. Vote the entire Louisiana Democratic ticket on Saturday, October 24th.
Paid for by the DSCC of Louisiana.
Hello? I need help. My hair is a mess and my man texts me telling me to be ready for 8. He has a surprise. What am I going to do? My stylist takes forever.
I got you. Call Ringlet Salon. I just left there.
Where?
Ringlet Salon. They took me within minutes and had me in and out in no time. Very professional, and I scheduled online at ringlets.com.
For real?
Girl, for real.
Does Ringlet Salon hook up your roots?
Looks like I got a perm, and you know I'm anti-chemicals. Ringlet Salon has my hair soft and bouncy. I'm getting the Brazilian Blowout Express next week. It eliminates frizz for 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay, I'm all about Ringlet Salon. Where are they located?
Ringlets has 2 locations, one at 4712 Paris Avenue and one in the Hilton Hotel on the river. That location validates parking for 4 hours and is open on Sunday.
Perfect for a working woman like me. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to be fresh for my man.
You will if you schedule your appointment at ringlets.com. That's ringletts.com.
Bye. Go and make my appointment with Ringlet Salon now.
Wesley Bishop is attacking Eric Caulfield. He says he's proud of his record, but maybe he shouldn't be. After 5 years in office, his district now ranks last in the city in high school graduation, last in median household income, and last in the percentage of employed residents. How can we address a 52% non-employment rate among African American men if they aren't graduating from high school? How can we make sure that they can get quality jobs? How can we make sure that our workers can support their families if their jobs won't pay them enough? Mr. Bishop wants a promotion, but it will take a new kind of leadership to get things done.
I'm Eric Caulfield, and I'll bring a new kind of leadership to the state Senate.
Eric Caulfield was appointed by President Barack Obama to serve as a White House fellow and also to lead a federal partnership with the city to make things better for the people of New Orleans.
I think people are hungry for a change in leadership. They want to see something different.
Vote for Eric Caulfield, number 41, State Senate, District 4, a new kind of leader for New Orleans. Paid for by the committee to elect Eric Caulfield.
New Orleans East is my home, my neighborhood, and my community. This is Paul Boyer. It is important to me that New Orleans East continues to rebound from Katrina, continues to grow and prosper. That is why I'm voting for Alicia Plummer-Clivens for State Representative, District 100. When New Orleans East was at its lowest point after Katrina, I saw Alicia work tirelessly to bring our neighborhoods back. I saw Alicia take on the government forces that were trying to turn our neighborhoods into green space. I am convinced that Alicia Plummer-Clivens has the leadership qualities to represent the citizens of New Orleans East as our state representative. This is Paul Boyer. It is important that we elect someone with a track record of serving and working for our community. On October 24th, let's elect Alicia Plummer-Clivens to represent our interests in Baton Rouge. Alicia Plummer-Clivens, State Representative, District 100, number 64 on your ballot.
Paid for by Alicia Plummer-Clivens Campaign.
WBOK 1230 AM, the People's Station.
Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday. We're talking about dating and some of the things that we're going through, and the guys were breaking stuff down during the break. I was like, are you kidding me? I am so excited. Of course, Ty is here with me, but you know what? We're going to listen to the guys for a minute. We have Uche and OT. You all know him from New Orleans, all over the world, Dallas, Fort Worth. Y'all want to listen to this because this is the good life. Guys, break it down. OT, you were talking about and of course it's a guy's point of view, so we're going to focus on that right now. Women basically are telling their business too much.
Absolutely.
They're letting too much out.
Absolutely.
And they're just,
You can't go out talking to everybody about what's happening
tell us what you deal with
you and your man. I mean, maybe that conversation ought to be a private, personal conversation between you and him, or you and him and the counselor or the therapist. But to go telling your friends everything about what y'all doing, how you doing, and what you're doing, this is a scandalous world right now. And then the other thing I've noticed is that people pass around and date in the same circles right now. Maybe I'm a little older and more traditional, but I ain't going out with my boys, girl. That's nasty.
It is nasty.
So all of y'all in the same crew, and then that woman wants you to respect her after she been with your boy, but she eyeing you because that relationship's about to end because maybe you got something going on. That's crazy to me. So how do you maintain respect? First of all, to me, there's enough people in the world that you can date outside your circle. And you can keep your business to yourself.
And you can keep your business to yourself.
Well, the main thing, keeping your business to yourself, especially when a woman's like, my man, treat it like your man then. That's right. You're going to tell everybody your man's business? It's not your man no more. It's everybody's man now. Ooh. Once you start speaking all your intricate details and he did this and we did this, and who is not going to be sitting there like, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Not guess what comes up next? I saw your man out with somebody else. Oh, girl, you gonna leave him alone? Yeah? All right. Y'all.
As a woman, I could definitely agree with, the things that, you guys have shared. I would agree. Women, we do talk too much. Yeah. We do also have a tendency to feel as though people that we think are our friends
are not our
female friends. They're really not. And, some of them may not, or they may not be as, considerate of your personal business when they're discussing with other people, not in your presence. So that I would have to agree that, I think in life, women, once they come out of certain relationships or as they mature, I wholeheartily agree that they have a tendency to be more private about maybe what be going on. It takes some maturity. Let me give
you women a secret. Let me share this, okay? Mm-hmm. Listen to me real close.
Listen up, this is good life.
All right. As insecure as men are, right? Yeah, all right, because women have given up their power and their authority. Your man don't want to know all your business. He don't want to know who you've been with. He don't want to know how you. Every man, you could be a hook off Bourbon Street. He wants to believe that he's your one and only. So all of this keeping it real by women right now, that man is listening to everything you're saying. He's looking at you like, what? You was keep your business to yourself. And then the other thing is, turn up, drunk, high sex now. That's an interesting thing going on where women want to turn it up and then not remember or take credit for what they did the night before. And I'm serious about that because there are women out there out drunken, drinking, smoking, toking men right now. And they're professional women out there. They think getting drunk, turning it up every weekend from Thursday to Sunday. We watching you turn up. We watching you.
Right.
we watching it.
Yeah.
We watching it. We watching it. And we pay attention to everything. Mm-hmm. We pay attention to everything. And you could sit there and we could be staring off at the TV and out the side. It's like, did you just say that? Did you just do that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We pay attention to the details on everything.
Mm-hmm. I truly believe, I want to go back to a couple of things,
I'm just in here at all.
That Oliver said. I definitely think that there's enough people in the world for us for people not to have to date within the same circles. But I do believe the reality of New Orleans is, that's just not a reality for New Orleans. Maybe other larger metropolitan cities, it's more realistic. But, as you know, in New Orleans, once I know you, the next question is, what high school did you attend? I'm getting straight down to who do I know that knows you? And it's going to be more than one individual. So in being such a small, close-knit city, there's so much about you that I could find out without hearing from you directly, which could be beneficial or it could be harmful and so forth. You know,
I need to know.
But
without the benefit of you lying to me, I know exactly who I'm dealing with.
But I do feel as though if men or women are utilizing their weekends to turn it up Wednesday through Sunday, Thursday through Sunday, and so forth, because it's just we're in the city that we're in, you know, sometimes you have to peel that layer back and say, well, what actually are they running from? What's really going on? Is it really that something is going on, in my opinion, either professionally, emotionally, spiritually, at work, where they feel the need to have to escape so far for so many consecutive days, in my opinion.
In what you're saying, I just want to break in what you're saying. It's going on. That's
I'm not
that's the
disputing
point.
that.
It's not like
I am not
an abstract thing. It's happening.
By no means am I disputing that, but we can't control other individuals. We can't control the decisions that they make. And it's up for that person to search and find what's really the challenge that's being presented in their life and how they're using alcohol and drugs and sleeping around as a form of outlet
in the
to
jungle.
release.
In the jungle right now, in the land of relationships and the topography, the geography, in the jungle, predators clash. You cannot have all predators. You know, so so what I'm simply trying to say is that, look, first of all, a male-dominated society and the mores and the principles of what men have dominated women in this world are basically unfair. Women in many cases have lost their self-respect, they've been abused. But you cannot out-male me, or you cannot out-man me.
Uche has said that.
You know, so some people may be for that or with that. But look at our outcomes right now. Look at the numbers right now. We are different. There are things that I don't mind seeing. Look, when I see the man bent over at the bar throwing up, but when I go out with two women, right? And this really happened.
Two women.
No. Well,
not when you go out.
Well, it's a different world today. But I've been out in the company of a couple of women. And so one doctor is got her head between her legs, throwing up in the bathroom, you know, and stumbling down the street, and nobody's in control of their life. That impression is indelible. You know. So to me, a woman is the most cherished and honored thing that God put on this earth. I don't want to see you be like, act like, and do like me.
And
are y'all listening?
I think that's key.
Are y'all listening?
But I do want to acknowledge that there are men out there that prefer and or desire for a woman to be, messed up.
They prefer and desire because it's easy. It's like, man, she's stumbling over herself.
So it all goes back to what your value and belief system
That's not the ones they date. That's sparring partners. You hear me? That's sparring partners.
There you go.
You know, you got to keep yourself in shape for that when that woman come in. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of women you deal with.
It's all about an individual's value system. You don't value that in a woman. That's not what you desire in a woman. But there are men who do. And where I see.
That's the facade that they think that they're desired. They're not desired. Because that same woman, that man gonna see you out, and guess what? He ain't gonna never be out with you no more. Y'all gonna be inside watching Netflix and chilling.
And men today, they got a lot of Jenny women out there right now. They got a lot of petty dudes out there right now who talk more than women. Look. When you walk in the place, right? Look, whatever someone does with their loved one or whoever they are, but when you walk in the room, right? Especially if you haven't protected your image and you haven't protected or valued yourself, they talking. You know. So for me, as an older man who's more traditional, I want to honor my woman. So even if she got some private issues, for her to be on public display right now, Uche is extremely right. We are watching. We are paying attention. Every man wants to believe that, as crazy as it is, that he's got some part of Mother Teresa on one part, but
you see my halo?
He wants to believe that. And where you've been and what you did, that really should not matter. But how you conduct yourself right now, especially in public.
Agree.
Are y'all listening?
No, they're not listening because they're like, that's not me, and they don't know what they're talking about, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But we'll be watching you. We'll be watching you.
Real talk.
Real talk. Seriously. But that's why we have these conversations, because so many times we think we know, but until you sit down and listen to a man, how do we know? Go ahead.
Let me be concrete. They got a group of women, 5, 6 women.
Mm-hmm.
Like Oliver said, they got one that's turning up. They got one that's constantly on her phone. They got one that's cheating on her husband. They got one that's and they got one that's a school teacher. And they got one that's a mother. They got one that's, we're watching all these things. We're constantly watching all these people. And the Mac computer don't have nothing on a man's mind because we're watching and processing and making decisions on the fly, instantaneously.
And I don't think that social media has helped contribute to keeping the foolishness down.
No,
I
feel like social media has actually helped because you get to see. But I'm going to tell you why. Because
I think it's made it worse.
But that's because you put your business out there. They have people who do put their business out there and people who don't. So you get to differentiate. Well, if you keep putting your business out there, then that's the real you.
My social media, only picture I got.
That's the real you.
Taifa,
do you put all your personal business?
Oh, I absolutely do not.
I put business about the show every day. Do y'all know who I'm dating, who I'm not dating, if I'm single or if I'm with somebody?
Look.
Y'all know that my child went to a chess tournament. Y'all don't know anything about if I'm dating or anything else because that's not everybody's business.
Real honest discussion, whether you agree or disagree. One of the solutions in our community are healthy relationships. How will we get to there? I know I've probably damaged and hurt a lot of women, for not being the man they wanted to be. But we do desire. Whatever. I listen to you all the time. A lot of people but we do desire to be that man for that woman.
So if you want that man, you need to be that woman. This is the good life. This is real talk. This is what we do. So make sure you stay tuned tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday because we have a fabulous show for you. I'm really excited. I have a little bit of a surprise. And follow us on social media, The Good Life Radio Show, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, TGL Radio Show. That's TGL Radio Show. And if you'd like to get involved with The Good Life, make sure you give us a call at 504-400-7127. That's 504-400-7217. That's The Good Life, and I'm out.